magazine. What did you think? This is not something that is on TV, and we needed it. So I'm so proud to be up here to present this cast and these creators, because I'm a lifelong DC Comics fan. So I know all about that world, but they have now added a new chapter to it that I'm just getting to discover along with the rest of us, and that is a very exciting time for a fan of these things. So without further ado, I want to bring up executive producers Danny Cannon and Bruno Heller. Mr. Jack Bannon, who plays Uncle Pennyworth. Congratulations, guys. This is fantastic. We've talked so many times, but this is the first time I've gotten to watch it with everybody, and this is great. How was it watching it with an audience?
People laughing.
Yeah. What about you guys? Did you watch?
Yes, watched it, yeah.
And you guys had a screening at Comic-Con as well.
No, just the trailer.
Just the trailer, you didn't do a screening. Oh, okay, so you guys are like the first people to see this. So, Bruno and Danny, when we spoke about this back months ago, one of the first things I wanted to know was, what made Alfred Pennyworth so fascinating to you as a character that he earns his own backstory?
And you want us to answer that again?
Yes, I know. Because they weren't there when they asked, yeah.
Well, he's a famous character. He's an integral part of the whole Batman mythology, but people know very little about him. He's been played before by great actors, but we've never really heard his backstory. I would also say it's not just Alfred, it's the story of Batman's parents, Bruce Wayne's parents. So the whole background story of those three people getting together and how they came to be friends and allies, it just seemed like a natural story to tell.
And the way we meet them, we still don't know why Alfred ends up so loyal to the Waynes.
Exactly, and you won't know until season 5.
So you have created a DC Comics show that is not comic booky at all, but also still very extreme. What would you say is the DC Comics DNA in the show?
Oh, I think it's one of the first things that's gone back in time and talked about a backstory that didn't exist. I remember when Bruno wrote the Fish movie for Gotham, and that was a character that everyone swore blind was in comic books. Like, oh yeah, I know. It didn't. It came from him. So it was two-part. It was a character that was very interesting from humble beginnings. Why did he get involved in the DC universe? But also that period. Everybody knows what was happening in Metropolis. Everybody knows what was happening in Gotham. But nobody knows what was happening on the other side of the Atlantic at that time. So it was fresh thinking.
And you've created also a swinging 60s that is not the London we know, because you have said like the 13 degrees off. Certain little tweaks, things that didn't happen. What were the fun little Easter eggs you planted into the show that remind people that, oh, this is not actually the historical 60s London?
Well, a lot of that, I was very nervous about who the villains were going to be. And Bruno and I spoke about this for a long time before he put them into place, but I was worried about villains. He said, we have all the villains from British history.
Yeah.
And that was a relief, that we can go into Victorian times, we can go into great English literature and talk about Jekyll and Hyde and Riddler and all those kind of people, so that was interesting.
And those are the characters you get to play with as the series progresses.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now let's talk about our Alfred, Mr. Jack Bannon. What kind of pressure do you feel playing such an iconic character?
A lot, really. It's a daunting list to join, but an honour to join it. And the thing is that helped me get out of bed and go to work rather than remain in bed a shaky mess, was it makes no sense, but sort of chronologically, this story's before all the others. So the way I viewed it is that those guys are following on from me rather than I'm following on.
So we're in a universe where like even the Superman comics haven't started running yet. Oh, so you're kind of like the first superhero.
Yeah, thanks.
You had said that you believe it was Michael Caine who had actually been the first one to kind of suggest a backstory of Alfred that made him an SAS vet, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. I think, yeah, he was the one who said I'll play a butler as long as he's ex-SAS, and because we explore a lot of that in the series, we had a discussion, and if there was any of them that we wanted to give a nod to, it was him, and so hence the voice and the physicality and stuff like that. But we did a lot of camera tests and stuff like that, where we were trying on different outfits and different backdrops and things like that. So the physicality came from that day. Yeah.
And this, you guys have also you played around with the timeline as far as like pop culture and things like that, correct?
Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, I mean, Jack's exactly the same age as Michael Caine would have been when he was doing those Harry Palmer films. And those are the films I was watching before doing this, and it's interesting to see that they weren't just about espionage and spies, they were also about Harry Palmer being a working class guy bumped up into that British regime and being a bit of a rebel. And so that was double good.
Okay, and you just mentioned that the working class, and as we meet through Esme, is the different worlds that they're from. So Emma, she's so beguiling and so lovely, but also really strong.
Yeah, we like that.
But she breaks up with this guy because they're from two different worlds, and then goes through all of this and decides to stay with him.
Yeah, probably about seeing him in action, something there, probably.
Very sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? What do you think Esme sees in this guy that causes her to kind of change her mind after this situation? Is it because he's so heroic?
I think maybe, yeah, when she witnesses that side to him, maybe she kind of, sees a complexity in him that kind of resonates with her. That actually maybe they're not so different after all. Because, as you just said, she has that same kind of strength.
Oh yeah, she's got a dark side.
Yeah.
This girl's got a dark side.
Well, that's the thing, I think she knows she has a dark side, and I think that's something that maybe she feels like she doesn't want to, bring into a relationship, but actually, she's like, oh, okay, well,
Okay,
she's the same kind.
so I wanted to, when you were casting this, you have to find an actress who can play this character who is basically the woman that changes Alfred's life, changes his heart. What did Emma have that you were just like, oh yeah, this is the woman who captivates? Because she's captivating.
I don't want to flat out Emma too much on stage here, but kind of radiance and goodness. This is a soldier who's seen terrible things, so someone who represents and sort of both in character and visually represents all the good things in life is what we went for. Kind of purity, virtue. Shall I go on?
And then the opposite side would be Bet Sykes. Paloma, and this character, again, yes. She could be a villain from comic books. She's extreme, she's violent, she's terrifying, but also there's something going on underneath all that. This is a very damaged woman. And in fact, the mother mentions, like, you need a doctor, but talk about it. But I do get the impression that there is something kind of broken in here.
I think anybody who's, I suffer from extreme empathy. So whenever I even come into contact with somebody who everybody thinks is a horrible person, my question is always, but what happened to them? And I think that kind of exists across the board. I think, personally in my real life, I don't really relate to people who haven't had extreme trauma. So, well, I just think it really makes a person. And I think that everyone deals with trauma in different ways, and sometimes that manifests in negativity, and sometimes it manifests in success or something great. But in the case of Beth, yeah, she's got her story and she hasn't really been able to cope very well with it. So she's sort of looking for a way out. But I think what sort of struck me most about her and what endeared me to her the most is that she is essentially human, and she longs for the same things as everyone else. She wants to create moments with other people, and she wants, in her case, Esme, she wants human touch and she wants connection, and she just doesn't really know or understand how to do that in a way that doesn't involve everyone being majorly freaked out. But that doesn't mean that she doesn't, that her feelings aren't, as kind of qualified or as relevant as everybody else.
And you also said that there is more in common between Alfred and that than people might realize after the first episode.
Yeah, well, I think what's really important, and I was just watching it back again, I haven't seen it for ages, but I think that there's a massive distinction, even though we speak the same language in England as you do in America. There's a huge, massive emphasis in Britain, which still exists today, which is about class divide. And I think, Alfred Pennyworth and Bet Sykes both come from a working class background, and the hand that you're dealt in Britain when you're born into that background is that you can never make it outside of it. And there's lots of references to that when his dad's talking to him in the scene that he saw just then about nobody's his own man. And I think there's lots of parallels in the script between them, like they relate, even though that one's essentially a good guy, for want of a better word, and one's a bad guy, for want of a better word. They actually have a lot in common, and the class system tends to, it's quite capable in Britain of breaking people and preventing ambition, whereas I think here maybe there's more opportunity to break out of your class.
And again, coming back to class and where you're born and how you're born, Thomas Wayne, one of DC Comics' most iconic dead parents.
That's right.
And watching you, it's kind of a shame because Bruce Wayne grows up, he's really just sheltered, and he ends up being a very dysfunctional human being. And I just feel like if he was raised by this Thomas Wayne, he'd be really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, he'd be super smooth, he'd be way better with people.
Right, yeah, I'm so glad you said that. I see him a little bit square, but I guess not without being
super
totally
cool.
suave at the same time.
But I mean, he's clearly he's square on the surface because of I don't even know what a financial forensics whatever is. It seems
I do.
Yeah, it seems like a huge lie. He's not even with Martha yet, or he's not married to Martha yet. But we will be meeting her, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a major character.
Major character. And this guy is lying about his job. So what can you tell us about what his real job is?
I don't know. What can I tell them?
Bruno?
Sorry, I'm playing J.J. Abrams here.
I mean, maybe it's under wraps, but there's certainly more to him than meets the eye, let's put it that way. And I think in the comics, he works in medicine, but in Pennyworth, he's got a much more covert underground world that draws him into some quite interesting, questionable situations. I guess we know where it ends up, like you said, being murdered by Joe. But I guess this will chronicle how he gets there. And we also know that he's kind of upstanding and very moral and a good citizen. But I don't think that's always the case. And yeah, we see who he becomes throughout this.
And obviously these guys end up becoming, I'm assuming, a Butch and Sundance kind of thing going on here?
Not too much.
which is sometimes.
Yeah.
It's actually, triangle is the wrong word, or maybe it's a square, because as I say, Martha appears episode 3, and yeah, that's one of the things that give away at this stage how all that works out.
When people say square or triangle in regards to a storyline, it's usually preceded by like romantic triangle, love triangle.
Yes, sometimes it's preceded by
So are you introducing a new concept into the canon of Batman that perhaps the Butler did?
Very hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing. Go on, you have to watch the rest of the show. But there's lots of new concepts that you haven't seen in the Batman universe that come up in the show.
The fun was reading his stuff about the two parents, knowing where Batman is, and he's kind of a messed up kid.
Yeah.
That you see both of the parents, both representing a different part of Batman, having these arguments, having this perhaps romance,
Okay.
where you see when they do have a child, he's going to be a little bit messed up.
Yeah.
I have a bit of both of them inside.
So when we meet Martha, would you say that she could also stand up to Bet as well as Esme did?
Give them what they want.
I don't know who could stand up to that really well as Esme did, but Martha was a strong woman in her own right.
That moves to America and works for the DMV.
Something, because you're way more grounded than comic book, anything with comic book, roots really. Because if someone dies, you can bring them back with a clone or a Lazarus pit, or if someone is gone, they're gone, right?
I said that until I saw Emma's performance, and then started thinking about resurrection and all those sort of things that happen in the DC universe, which is all about rebirth and second chances. So I would never say never.
Right, okay. And when we first spoke, and when this all came together, and people were talking about it, the original line was, this is not a prequel to Gotham. But at Comic-Con, Danny, you said this is essentially a sequel or prequel to Gotham.
Was that in the bar late at night?
I know it's a reporter, so I don't know.
Oh, I didn't think they were real amazing. No, I think it's. I always like to say it's like music. When there are good songs out there, and the DC universe is such a great song, you do versions of that. You don't do the same song every time. Everybody does their version of Bohemian Rhapsody. Or Let It Be. I think this is an alternative reality. This is an alternative universe. So no, I think it stands by itself here. I'm just the idea we're not going to go to America with this show. So everybody's free to do whatever version of the story they want to. That's the beauty of these.
And also the beauty of creating something so original and so distant from everything that we've seen. And honestly, I'm a super nerd when it comes to that stuff, and I love a crossover. But you don't need it. Like what you have created here and these characters that you've put on the board, they don't need to be tied to anything else because you're creating it from the ground up. And like it has been addressed before, it is not something we've seen.
No, the greatest thing has been people coming up to you afterwards in a sweet way, going, Thomas Wayne's Batman's dad. That's the Butler.
Right.
At the end.
And that's it. That's all I'm thinking, right?
And I was like, they enjoyed a film about an alternative 60s where a young man came out of the army and was given an opportunity by this rich entrepreneur to elevate himself from his class, and have adventures in a world filled with optimism. And that was great because I was like, great, you don't have to read one comic book to enjoy the show.
And that's the great thing. This appeals to those of us that know comic books and love it, but also anyone who's into just very cool television.
Yeah.
Well, I want to congratulate all of you guys.